Video games are a form of media unlike any other. Their interactive nature allows them to transcend the kinds of experiences you can get from movies or television because they allow you to place yourself into the world it curates and actually feel the triumphs and trials of your player character. Through thoughtful game design and appropriate presentation, a game can really immerse a person to the point that the rest of the real world disappears, creating a sense of escapism that so many gamers value in what they play. This escape does not need to be made alone, however. Video games can also bring people together in numerous ways. Some of my fondest memories with my friends involve all of us sitting around a screen and getting lost in a game together. As longtime gaming fans, we would take pride in our ability to tear through the early parts of a game, until we reached that one boss that would keep us occupied for the rest of the night. It would be worth it, though, for that mutual sense of accomplishment that would wash over us when someone landed the final blow. When 2020 struck, we had to make some adjustments to how we shared our gaming experiences together. The days of being huddled around with sweaty controllers had to take a pause, and instead we used Discord voice chat as we played online games. As we all went off to college, we soon got very used to being connected in this way. Since then, few games have brought us and the whole gaming community together quite like Elden Ring. Released in February of this year, Elden Ring is a spiritual successor to the Dark Souls series of games. Known for their cutthroat difficulty, these games challenge even the most adept of players. They often place you in a desolate world with bloodthirsty monsters and traps abound. Elden Ring is no different, but it pulls out all the stops with its sprawling, ever-unfurling world. I cannot stress it enough. This game is massive. I'm 60 hours in, and I feel as if I have just begun to make a meaningful dent in the world map. We play as a Tarnished in the Lands Between, a vast world of demigods and magic. The Tarnished are a group of people encompassing all the player characters, who were rendered immortal by an event that stripped order from this land. It is the player's job to bring back order by restoring the titular Elden Ring. Now before we jump right in, I'd like to thank my friends Max and Jeff, who will be helping me throughout this video by sharing their own experiences going on this quest, and how this epic tale united gamers everywhere. So how does the Lands Between bring gamers together exactly? It appears to be a lonely, baroque bloodbath with sparse NPCs and a dilapidated world. Well, let us start with the hype. According to USA Today, the game reached many most anticipated games lists when it was announced back in 2019. Suffice it to say, everyone was talking about this game. As its release approached, I distinctly remember the low rumbling of hype that surrounded it getting louder and louder and louder. Max could definitely feel the buzz around the game too, as he said this.
It was genuinely one of the most hyped up games in the last 10 years. I know personally that I was very hyped about it because I actually played the Souls games growing up. I have a connection with the series, and it's nice to see it come back in a new and refreshed way.
This was no surprise, as open world games are a burgeoning genre that many were excited to see the likes of Dark Souls break through into. And you can be sure that my friends in our group chat were buzzing about it for weeks until the day finally came. One by one, we scrounged our dusty college wallets for the funds to buy the newest, hottest game because we could feel its groundbreaking potential. We each began to play it, and one thing became clear. This is a gamer's game. Most games begin with a low simmer of difficulty, ever slowly ramping up, and saving the most brutal challenges for the home stretch. Elden Ring? Well, Elden Ring kicks your ass. Front to back. I will never forget when Jeff and I got to the first main boss.
And during that call, there was a lot of anger, there's a lot of rage.
Experiencing all of that anger and rage together pushed us through attempt after attempt until we finally beat it. So it goes without saying that playing with friends did wonders in easing the difficulty. Before we move on, Jeff also had this to say about the game's release.
Some reviews of the game came out pretty positively. One or two of my friends were talking about it that I decided to purchase it. And after I did purchase it, I had a lot of fun with my friends playing throughout the week that it first came out. And just playing it alone as well. Both aspects of the game are very fun.
The multiplayer elements are a subtle yet highly effective addition to the game that allows us to connect even more amongst ourselves and with the gaming community while enjoying Elden Ring. As you explore, you will see ghostly figures zip by. I remember my first instinct was to attack them. You cannot trust anything in the lands between. Is this some sort of secret? Do I follow this guy for a side quest? No. These were other players going on their own adventures. When I realized this, the murky world of Elden Ring did not feel so lonely anymore. Seeing fellow Tarnished at the same point of the game as me allowed me to find secrets and avoid unfair deaths. When I may have gone straight to Google, the ghosts of like-minded gamers guided me instead. And I found that to be really special, as it kept me immersed in the world while making me feel increasingly like part of this gaming community. Did I save someone from falling off a 100-foot cliff? I guess I'll never know, but the thought that I may have, just by playing the game, makes me incredibly happy. My friends and I particularly enjoyed the messages left by players that can be found all around the ground throughout the game's world. Players have a limited pool of words and phrases to use while they write these, leading to creative and often funny ways to convey ideas to other Tarnished. Here's an example from YouTuber Fightin' Cowboy, where a player left a message warning him about a chest that had a trap in it.
Be wary of trap?
The freedom that Elden Ring afforded my friends and I through its robust character building systems had to have been one of the highlights of our time with the game so far. You can be a fierce warrior, a dexterous thief, a scholarly sorcerer, and so much more. There are seemingly infinite builds, which leads to different players having vastly different experiences with the various parts of the game, based on the strengths and weaknesses of their characters. I played a full-fledged strength build. In other words, I put all of my resources into hitting as hard as I can with the biggest weapon I can find. Here's what my friends had to say about their characters.
I usually use a strength build. This is my first Souls game, so I wanted to try something that's like tried and true. I just wanted to get through the game. I know how hard these games can be.
I focus on getting in up close and personal with a big sword, and once the target gets away, I focus on long-range distance spells.
All of these very different playstyles make discourse around the game a whole lot more interesting, because everyone's got their own stories that are specific to their character build.
It's been really cool, like talking about like where we're at in the game and like the builds we've been working on.
Elden Ring gave me, each of my friends, and the entire gaming community an opportunity to get lost in its world together. In these strange times, it was beyond cathartic to share this game of the year with the boys. I felt like a young kid again, during a time when the responsibilities and pressures of adulthood were far on the horizon, and escaping into another world was effortless. Thank you, Elden Ring, for connecting my friends and I, and reminding gamers worldwide the potential of the medium of video games.